20 racks. Run it up. Another rack, another stack. I'm coming up. Money.
Catching Up with Mac, episode 11. We in here, baby. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all already know the vibes. We here tonight. Catching Up with Mac, episode 11. I got a great show for y'all tonight. Really great show for y'all tonight.
I'm coming up.
It's the fact, more money, more problems. Touch my money and we gon' have problems. Money.
I just want to pause the music real quick. I said I was going to address this. Catch Up with Mac, episode 11. I got a great show for y'all tonight. I don't want to dive too much into this, but I just want to let y'all know as far as my platform, as far as who I am, I just want to make sure that it's very clear. In no way, ever, and I want to make sure this is really clear, is it okay for a man to put his hands on a woman, on a female, or physically harm a woman or female? Like I said, on my platform, I want to make sure things are very clear. And in no way should a man ever put his hands on a woman, harm a woman in any way. I don't support that. I'm not about that. That's not what my brand is going to be about. This is involving the Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. There was a lot of speculation for the past couple of weeks. The first reports that came out said that Megan Thee Stallion had cut her foot maybe from some glass. It later came out that she was shot in the foot. It was heavily speculated that it was Tory Lanez that shot her. It was just confirmed by Megan Thee Stallion last night that it indeed was Tory Lanez that shot her. I don't want to dive too much into it. I can't speak for anyone else's platform or anyone else that has whatever they're doing. I just want to make sure that I put this at the beginning of the show. I'm not going to stand for domestic violence or a man putting their hands on a woman or harming a woman in any way. At the same time, I don't think that a woman should put their hands or harm a man at all. But I can't speak to that from the man's perspective. At no time should that happen. And you should do everything possible, whatever it is, to walk away from the situation. So once again, my platform, my brand, I want to let you know, I got no respect. I'm disgusted by what Tory Lanez did. And it's very sickening. It's very sad. I'm going to get off this real quick, but it's sad because I like Tory. I was really impressed with what he did over quarantine, but nah, I'm just not going to stand for that. So y'all know the Mac does not stand for domestic violence or a man putting their hands or harming a woman in any way. Started up, Catch Up with Mac, episode 11. We here, baby. I got a great show for y'all. Get some music going. Come on. I got a great guest for y'all tonight, man. The one and only San Antonio's very own Puro San Antonio. SPURS Jesus, man. I'm about to bring him in the building. It's going to be a great show tonight. It's good, man. I'm excited. Like always. Still don't have that sponsorship. Episode 11. I still don't have that sponsorship. But Jameson. It's my buddy right here. Fuels the entire show. It's fun to be sipping all night long. Take a shot at the end of the show. There's a lot of vibes, my boy Jamie. Catch Up with Mac, man. Episode 11. We got you, man. SPURS Jesus is going to be joining me tonight. It's going to be good. Spurs, unfortunately, are not in the hunt anymore, in the race for the championship. They got ejected from the bubble, I guess you could say. But it's all good. Shout out Ashley in the building. SPURS Jesus, I see you, man. I see you. I'm going to bring you in a second. Official DJ B, shout out, man. Sean, Cafe, Amora SA. What's going on? Thank you for joining me. Catch Up with Mac, episode 11 tonight. I'm excited. I'm in a good mood.
Money.
Right here, y'all know the vibes, man. You know I gotta show love to the local talent. High-Strung, man, always love for my boy High-Strung. He's got a new project coming, new album coming, Life. You know we're gonna get the exclusives here on the show. SPURS Jesus, get your drinks together, man. I'm bringing you right in right now.
Differently that hold money, trying to keep my niggas from that stove money. Don't come at me with let me hold something. They trying to make me feel I owe them something.
Okay.
But where was you when
get
I
your
was
drinks
hustling?
together.
Where was you when I was grinding?
I tried to put the double ball on top of the other ball. It's not working.
They say I'm
Now pause. How did that sound? Pause.
But if you ask me, I don't flex enough. Hop off my dick, get your flexing up. Hope you know what you do when you flex with us.
I'm excited, man.
Cause if you ain't know, I'm a texting, bro. We pull up, no hassle, I'm checking ya. Run it up. Want a lump sum, yeah, that sums it up. My squad hustle ain't no bumming us. Don't
We
be
doing it
tryna
tonight,
run, you
man.
ain't come up with
Catch
us.
Up with Mac, episode 11. Thank you, everybody, tuning in, watching now live, watching later on. I appreciate y'all so much. You know, we're trying to build a brand right here. This guy right here I'm about to talk to tonight, he knows all about building a brand, man. I'm excited. He's unlocked it. He's unlocked the box, man. He's got it. All right, I'm bringing you in, homie. Let's get this going, man.
I be just trying to get hundreds.
20 racks.
Run it up. Another rack, another set. I'm coming up.
Hey.
What's good?
Woo.
What's good?
I be just trying to.
Yo, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you? I'm trying to get my energy on the Mac level.
That's tough, man. That's tough. Many people have tried and failed. It's tough.
Man. Hey, I'm still waiting on that Jameson care package. I thought you were going to send to the crib, man. What's up?
Man, I'm still waiting on the care package to arrive from me from Ireland. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for them to send me something.
Real quick on the Jameson tip, man. So I swear to God, I still have like a dent in my kneecap because literally you can feel it. Part of my kneecap is like flat because so I used to bartend downtown San Antonio back, I don't know, 10 plus years ago.
Okay.
But I got invited to the Jameson Bartenders Ball. I don't know if you've ever heard about it. Yeah, but so Jameson throws this big party. Like it's, if you get the invite, it's all free basically. And and they have like, they have the regular bar, but then they have like a Jameson bar, and then they have like the Jameson like 10-year, 18-year, like all the different special ones, right? And so you said it a minute ago, I unlocked it. So I figured it out. I was like, okay, if I go get a Jameson drink and then I go get that 18-year and just add it on top of that, that's going to be a top shelf JMO drink. So anyways, I barely made it back into my door and tripped and fell over I was wearing like dress shoes and tripped and fell and smacked my knee. And man, Jameson don't play. Jameson don't play.
Let me tell you, man. I'll tell you my story real quick. Quick Jameson story. A couple of years ago, me and the wifey were in Nantucket on vacation, and she had gone to bed. She was getting tired, maybe around 12:30, and I'm like, man, no way, I'm going to bed yet. Like, so of course I take her back to the B&B. I go back out, have a couple more drinks. And I'm trying to Nantucket. It's like real dark out there. It's an island, so it's like pitch out as I'm walking. So, man, I'm just walking along, and there's cobblestone everywhere, authentic cobblestone from the 1700s. So it's just blocks of stone with, like, this much gap in between them, So I'm walking along, man. I was a lot of Jamie's deep. And sure enough, stepped off a curb right under the cobblestone and cracked my ankle. Ooh. The funny story about it was wifey had told me not to go back out. She was like, something's going to happen. And we have an early morning because we were hiking to a lighthouse that you got to walk like 2 miles to. And sure enough, hurt myself. I was hungover. So I was, not only was my ankle swollen, but I was throwing up the whole morning, man. But I still made that walk. Because I knew if I didn't, and you being married now, I knew right away if I didn't make that walk, that the story would never go away. So I said, fuck it. I will make the walk. And man, I needed a lot more Jameson that night to get over that. So
I bet.
Hey man, well, let me introduce you real quick. Catch Up with Mac, episode 11. Once again, thank you so much to everyone that's tuned in so far, tuning in tonight, tuning in later on. Got a great show for y'all tonight. If you do not know, this is the guy in San Antonio right here. Y'all might have seen him courtside at the AT&T Center at a Spurs game, or you might see him cruising around in the Blessmobile. That's what I've been calling it, the Blessmobile. The one and only Spurs Jesus. Thank you, brother, for coming on the show.
What up? I like to call it the SJ Cruiser.
Okay, I was going to get into that. I wanted to know if there was a nickname. I didn't know what we were going to be going by, so.
Yeah, baby. Well, of course, like you mentioned earlier, the Spurs didn't make it to the playoff, or didn't make it, to the playoffs. I keep on calling the bubble the playoffs, like all the way around, but it's, now we're officially in the playoffs. But, it was a good show out, a good showing, a good run. And I'm proud of what our team and players did, man. So hopefully next season, we'll be able to be back and watch them live and in person, and maybe we'll get some more courtside seats, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, hey, there we go. We'll see you back courtside, man. Hey, talk to me about pandemic life. You know, it's been crazy. Everyone else's experience has been different. My guest experiences have been different. You and the wifey have a little one. That's a different dynamic than me and my wife. What was the pandemic like looking like for y'all in April, May, June?
Oh man, you know, it was crazy. I mean, like you said, we got the little dude, and so really, I mean, not like there's a whole lot that you can do with a 1.5-year-old. So he's almost 2 now, but you know, really just kind of spending our days chasing him around for the most part. You know, at the very beginning, you know, going back into March, the very beginning of March, you know, we were following the NBA and what was happening with kind of the talks of, you know, before they shut the NBA down, they were talking about, you know, the Golden State Warriors, I think, were the first team to say that they were going to potentially play a game in front of no fans.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah. And then, you know, I get emails from the Spurs talking about, like, you know, what's, you know, season ticket updates and things like that. And one of the emails they sent out, kind of the same thing, right, when Golden State said that, was basically that they weren't going to do that yet, but there was going to be a whole bunch of new protocol put in place. You know, keep as much as you can, keep social distancing, you know, instead of high-fiving each other, fist bumps, and like they had this whole like you know, illustrated diagram of stuff,
kind of like guidelines.
Yeah, exactly. And so as soon as we saw that Golden State was going to play a game with no fans, I told my wife we weren't supposed to go to that game. The very next day was another Spurs home game, and we didn't have that specific game in our tickets, you know. And I told her we got to figure out how to go to that game. So we have you know, my partner is Best Tickets, and so Best Tickets gives us all of our tickets to all the games. So they're great. They're awesome. If you ever
real quick, man, as many plugs as we need to drop tonight, feel free to drop them. This is the platform to do that. So Best
there you
Tickets.
go. Well, this is a plug, but you know, this is a plug, like a genuine plug.
Yeah.
If you need tickets, go through Best Tickets,
I
because
have the free beer and everything too. I love that.
Yeah, their experience is really cool. A lot of people don't know, but like the back of the Best Tickets lounge by the AT&T Center, or the Best Tickets, you know, office, is like a speakeasy lounge. If you're a ticket holder, you can go there before the game. They have a whole wall full of beer, and you can hang out there before the game and have some free beers. It's all part of your ticket package. So we hang out there before every single game. If you look at some of my posts from when we were recording the podcast, which I know we'll talk about later, but we're recording the podcast before the pandemic, we were recording it live from Best Tickets. And so the backdrop is like beer cases all behind
the one you had to postpone last night. I saw how it looked, and I was like, oh man, like I said, my setup is real basic. I'm rocking I like that though. I was impressed.
There you go. Well, we'll have to, of course, when we're back to normal, bro, you're coming into the studio with me. But so I, you know, Best Tickets is really great about if we say, hey, you know, this game's too late, little man, it's not going to work, we don't have a babysitter or whatever, they'll swap me games. So they're cool about it. So
very cool.
I told Wifey, I was like, look, we got to figure out how to go to that game, because I just have this feeling that that's going to be the last game. You know, that after this game, things are they're gonna go to no fans, right? So we went to that game, and you know, unfortunately, I think we actually might have gotten sick from that game, because like two weeks later, we both got like extremely sick, like sicker than we've ever been. And so, but that was kind of at the beginning of the whole thing. That was like March, you know, I don't know, 14th.
Yeah,
I think it was March 11th when we went.
I forgot what game it was, but this game they stopped right before the game started.
Yeah, it was Utah Jazz versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, I believe, and Rudy Gobert. I think the next night is when that happened. After we went to the game, the next night, and so we were like freaked out. You know, I told my wife, I was like, I got chills, like not chills from being sick, chills because I was just like, wow, this is like, this is serious, you know.
Time in history, it's happened.
Yeah, I was like, they don't just shut down games when the fans are there for nothing. I mean, you know, the building damn near better be on fire, you know, and even then they'll try to put it out before they shut down the game. So anyways, you know, that was kind of what kicked it off for us. You know, we were kind of right there in experiencing it, and leading into April, we kind of were on that. I think everybody at the beginning of April had the hopes that, oh, this is going to go away soon. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's how much longer can this last? It's going to die out. We're going to get this under control. And then it didn't. So, obviously we kind of tried to figure out ways to occupy ourselves at home. Luckily, my in-laws sent us a big inflatable, like, family pool. Not like, it's not like, not like big, not like a huge one, but enough that me and my wife.
Something to chill a little bit.
Yeah. And so we literally would blow that thing up and sit in the front yard, and we would favor some Trulies or White Claws and just hang out in the pool, let the little man splash around. And that's kind of what we did for the first month of quarantine, other than that, doing the same things everybody else was doing. I love to cook, so cooking at home a lot, started exercising. I used to own a gym and be a personal trainer, so I'm pretty savvy about, how to exercise with minimal things or just body weight.
Yeah.
We also lived pretty close to the Riverwalk, so we'd go exercise.
I always walking down there. Yeah. Man. Real quick, let me shout out people that jumped in. French's Outdoor, Tal Varez, 1980, James 5085, Howdy, J Nation, Sal Ramos, Anna Isa, it's Ed, Jahani. I hope I get some of these names right. It's hard to read these Instagram names sometimes. Like, just rattle them off.
I see Brian Ellingbo. Shout out Brian Ellingbo.
Hey,
what's
there
up?
we go. I like what you were saying. I talked about this a little bit in quarantine, that some businesses during quarantine were able to thrive more than they did before quarantine. And unfortunately, some businesses, fell as opposed to not being quarantined. A business like pools, like what y'all got, like a house pool, just an inflatable, something that maybe a lot of families didn't get because there's SeaWorld, there's community pools, there's apartment complexes that have a pool, but it comes to this time where you can't go anywhere and you get that. Talk to everyone, or, tell everyone exactly, because your brand is very specific to the Spurs and to being out and about in the city. And, I would say during something like that where everyone's locked inside, I feel like it would possibly affect your brand. Tell me about how it kind of did affect, like, your personal brand, which is Spurs Jesus.
It completely, 100% affected our brand. So the way that, a lot of people don't know, but the way that what's up, Carson? What's up, Arrow? Got to shout
hey, hey, shout out. What's funny? I thought it was Carson too. I did not think it was Carson. So Carson. I was like, I was just telling my wife, I was like, I feel like it's Carson. I was like, I'm past that. I'm glad you clarified that for me.
That's the wifey. So a lot of people don't know, but I make my money. A lot of people think too that, since you mentioned earlier that I've gotten to sit courtside, I've only gotten to sit courtside because I've been lucky and have had friends that have courtside tickets. I'm not rich, and it all started because I was a personal trainer. When I sat courtside, I had a client that had courtside tickets, and he couldn't make the game, and so he gave me tickets. That's how I sat courtside. I could never afford courtside tickets. Hopefully one day. That's the dream. The way I make my money is by doing, luckily, like you mentioned earlier, I've been able to build this brand over the year. This is my 10th year being Spurs Jesus. So it's been a decade in the making. Yeah. So thanks, man. So it wasn't, when I first became Spurs Jesus, it was literally supposed to be a one night only thing. I only wanted to go to a game one time. My goal was to get on SportsCenter and get a picture of myself on SportsCenter and show my kids and show my boys, look at me on SportsCenter, picture on the wall kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so I went and the game, and I didn't make SportsCenter, but it made a good impact with the fans in the city. So I created a Facebook page, and then kind of that ended up blowing up, kind of organically. And then after that happened with, Instagram came along. And so my social media platform got big just organically, really. And because of that, as you know, in the world we live in now, social media influencers get paid to talk about things or get paid to, go places and whatever. So by brands and products. And so yeah, all my money making stuff comes from social media influencing, which is marketing budgets from other companies. And the first thing to go during the pandemic, when everyone's, putting employees on, they're shutting down their marketing budget.
Yeah.
So social media stuff stopped for me. My other thing that I get paid for is appearances, out at places, bars, restaurants, stores, Fiesta, which obviously we know got shut down. And I make a lot of money off of merchandise and gear. Like especially my probably biggest money-making piece of merchandise is Fiesta medals.
Yeah.
And obviously having all that shut down, 100% of our business come like mid-April was gone. We lost all of our business.
Alt.
Yeah, I mean, literally, because we have sponsors for our podcast. We have sponsors that have us do social media stuff, kind of on a monthly retainer thing. And literally every single one of our partners, kind of domino effect, starting mid-March and wrapped up mid-April, said, listen, we gotta stop. We gotta put a hold on it. I know we got a contract, but times are unique and strange. So yeah, unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we lost all of our business. There was a few things that happened here and there where we got offered by some companies to do some social media influencing stuff, but definitely nothing that would be able to sustain a family and a almost 2-year-old baby. So times have definitely been difficult, and I definitely feel everybody's pain that's unemployed. We're self-employed, but unfortunately, technically unemployed.
That leaves definitely, yeah. It just that there's no there's not that unemployment insurance that comes along with your brand, or at this moment. Yeah, I completely understand. Me and my wife in the bucket, unemployed, and just navigating. It's completely different. I'm with you, man. Losing sponsors and stuff. Being in radio. It's the same way, you're hosting a club for 8 months straight, and you're so used to that same exact money coming in every single 2 weeks from that appearance. And then the client tells you, hey, my budget's tight right now. I'm sorry, and it's got exactly had to happen many times in my 4.5, 5-year tenure now of being in radio. I completely understand. Tell me about with your brand, because there's a lot of people that don't connect the dots, right? And I'm sure you've seen it. I've seen it. When was it that you started to realize that your brand had the potential to bring in a revenue?
So it was during the 2013 and 2014 NBA Finals.
Okay.
And so I mentioned earlier that I was a personal trainer. And so for those of you that don't know, when you're a personal trainer, most of the time you're not on salary. You only get paid by appointment. So, if I can train 10 clients today, then I'm getting paid out for those 10 clients. If I decide that I want to take a day off, I'm not getting paid that day,
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I started being, like I said, it's my 10th year being Spurs Jesus. So that means I started back in 2010. And so at that time, I had been Spurs Jesus for 3-4 years, and I was getting invited to do a ton of charity stuff. I was kind of just starting to get invited to do, lots of TV and radio stuff. Come be on the morning show, come be on our radio show.
And people starting to catch on to what you were doing at Spurs games, basically.
Exactly. And so especially 2014, when we're in the finals against LeBron James and Miami Heat, all the attention is on, obviously, the whole world's looking at the NBA Finals. It's one of the most watched things other than NFL, of course.
Yeah.
But so, I remember looking at my calendar one day, and this is the exact moment that I realized that one had to go. I couldn't do both. I wasn't earning enough money, taking time off of being a personal trainer. So I remember looking at my calendar one day, and I had like 7 a.m. I had, a live shoot with like a morning news show. It was like 8 a.m. another morning show, 9 a.m. another morning show, 10 a.m. another morning show, 11 I had to go to a radio show, noon I had to go to another radio show, then like scheduled an hour for lunch, and then I had to go do film some stuff for like a 5 o'clock package at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and then cut it off to go to the actual game, And so literally my entire day from 7 a.m. until like, obviously the game, you get out of the AT&T Center after a game, 10:30 at night. You know what I mean?
Leave the parking lot by like 11:15, maybe. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I'm not complaining. That was really cool.
Yeah.
At the time, at the early stages of being Spurs Jesus, I had the mindset of like, I don't say no to anything unless you're asking me to like make an appearance at a strip club, because that just wouldn't be on brand for me. Jesus at the strip club doesn't make any sense. So,
hey, what's funny is in this 2020 of things like, just hitting the internet the second that it happens, that would not fly. Maybe 2014, you could have gone a little under the radar with some appearances. Not today, though. Not today.
Yeah, no. So I mean, but what I mean is, like, anytime someone asks me to be on the news or be on the radio show or anything, I was like, for sure, I'll be there.
And say no to those opportunities. They're far in between. You got
exactly. But for me, like I said, as being a personal trainer, that means that entire day, I didn't make any money, and so I wasn't getting paid either. So between not making any money and then spending money on breakfast, lunch, dinner, gas, drinks at the game or whatever, I probably spent over $100 that day.
Jeez.
And I'm still, at the time, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I don't have a set big, and so that's when I realized, like, okay, like I got to figure out how to monetize this, or I got to stop being Spurs Jesus altogether. Because at the time, I was, like I said, I was saying yes to everything, and I wasn't asking an appearance fee. I wasn't saying like, sure, I'll be there, but I need $50 in my food and beverage covered.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
My gas taken care of, travel expenses. Yeah, got you.
Yeah. And so that's when I realized that, like 2014, that one has to go. I either got to stop doing it, or I got to start, stop saying I'll do everything for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was around that time. Yeah, I mean, that's big. That's a big thing that I touched on before, too. I think that a lot of the make or breaks are really all about rolling the dice. And it's about making those tough decisions where Spurs Jesus could have not panned out. And personal training could have been the thing that panned out. I mean, you hindsight 2020, now you made the right decision. But
I'm a big believer that, and this, for those of you who are listening out there and don't know what your path is or don't know what you want to do, I felt like that for a lot. Sometimes I still feel like that. Not sure what my exact calling is, what it is that I'm supposed to do, want to do. I think I figured it out a little more now. But in your younger age, I wasn't necessarily so sure. My advice though is to pick something that makes you happy and then go at that 110%. I think if I had decided to be a personal trainer full time and really given it my all, I would have been amazing at it. And I was good at it. I think back on this a lot. Back when I was 18 years old in San Antonio, I was signed to a record label as a rapper.
Hey!
Yeah.
So rappers in the building. I like it.
Yeah, buddy. And so, but I think about that. I think about that. Had I grinded for 10 years to be a rapper, would I be your G-Eazy? Would I be your big name, by giving it my all? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who knows? But I definitely didn't give that career near as much attention as I gave personal training and now have given to Spurs Jesus. I mean, I think I stopped rapping when I was like 19 because, I was worried about what people thought of me as a white rapper or white Hispanic rapper. And now it doesn't even matter anymore, so.
That's great, because that's when my rap career was really taking off, was when I was 19. I think I had made my second mixtape. But then I know you knew that I used to rap 8 mixtapes, and same thing, man. I did put a lot of attention into it, but it just wasn't for me. It wasn't meant for me. And it was really hard to get over. My last mixtape dropped in 2015, right before I got hired at the radio station.
Really?
It just, fortunately, I was able to transition my energy really quickly into what I think is my calling. And I kind of understand exactly what you're saying. With personal training, you probably would have knocked it right out of the park. But at the moment, it wasn't for you, and you were able to kind of transition that energy like in an instant into something that now has become Spurs Jesus. Real quick, Catch Up with Mac, episode 11. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in. Spurs Jesus is in the building, the black and silver savior. Now, has anyone ever called you that before? Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
Okay, because I had not seen it anywhere. And when I was typing up like your post, I was like, man, I want something that sounds really fly. And I'm dead serious, didn't see it. So I just wanted to ask if you had, because if not,
Savior?
I have that phrase right now.
Well, just the Savior?
The black and silver savior.
No, I have not. Okay,
That's me. Then that's me. I'm taking that one.
Yes, sir.
I just thought that had like a little rhyme to it, man. The black and silver savior, you know.
I like it. I like it.
Appreciate everyone jumping in. Nick Trey's in the building. Oh, shit. Yeah, you know the vibes, baby. Underscore OBO or Kobo. IZ or Izumara, I think. Shout out everyone jumping in the show right now. Miss LL Cool. I got the one and only Spurs Jesus in the building. We're talking about brand. Now, a lot of people, you know, may only know you from Spurs games, right? You know, a lot of people maybe aren't, you know, following you so heavily on social media, following your TV appearances and just other things that you do. But you're not just Spurs Jesus. And when I say courtside, it's more of just saying like you're court, like I know that you're not always courtside. It's just more of like the vibe, like, oh, courtside at the Spurs game. So, but they may know you from that. You do a lot of other things in the community. You know, you got to roll in the San Antonio community. From charities to fundraisers, like you said, to be hosting events. I want to hear a little bit about that. Tell me about some of the charities that you've been involved with and that have maybe personally affected you or touched you.
You know, getting into philanthropy is one thing that I always wanted to do. It was always something that's been on my mind, you know, way before Spurs Jesus ever happened. And it was always something that I thought I had to be rich in order to do. Like, to give back to charity, I got to be a wealthy guy so I can write a check to this charity.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the case. So, you know, that's kind of the first way that I kind of decided that I had something special with the Spurs Jesus thing, where I could really leave a mark on our community and give back in a very positive way and kind of leave a positive impact on the earth after I'm gone and dead one day. You know what I mean? So charity stuff has always been near and dear to my heart. My mom's always kind of instilled that into me to, you know, give back and do as much as you can to help others. So I got involved with charity like right from the get-go. And that's kind of why I kept being Spurs Jesus. I think I had only been Spurs Jesus for a few months before the San Antonio AIDS Foundation reached out to me and asked me to host the 5K walk and run. And
Okay.
so I was like the celebrity host or whatever. And I wasn't even, you know, I don't know if I even say I'm officially a celebrity now, but at the time I definitely was kind of just getting started. People had only seen me because the news and stuff was talking about me. But so I had my own team and they asked me to host and MC that. And so I did. And like I said, going back to the not saying no thing, you know, if it's a good look, I'm going to do it. And so I did that. They asked me to come back the next year. And then after that, it was kind of like a snowball effect, you know. I did more and more charity stuff. I mean, now to date, I mean, I've done hundreds of charity things.
You're involved in so many things.
I've done stuff with, you know, the San Antonio AIDS Foundation. I've done stuff for children with cancer. I was a candidate for Man of the Year with Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I've done stuff with SNPSA, San Antonio Pets Alive, pet adoption agencies, PetSmart pet adoption agencies. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. I've done many, many 5Ks, Susan G. Komen. So, I mean, I've done, if you name a charity, I pretty much have done it. I mean, food bank, many times.
Them as well. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We got
so, I mean,
love how Spurs Jesus is so inspirational in a fun way. I think that's something really cool about you is that you've got the motivational speakers that are a little more serious, a little more to the point, and you got someone like maybe like you or even like me that can motivate people, but in kind of more of a bouncy way, a little more of a fun way. I like that about you. I definitely.
Yeah. You know, that was, well, I appreciate that. And that's one thing, you know, talking about the charity thing, you know, I noticed early that the charitable efforts also go hand in hand with building a brand, because if people know me as Spurs Jesus, being Spurs Jesus, going to the games and all that stuff. But let's say that I go and I do an event for, you know, like Susan G. Komen, you know, breast cancer awareness, fighting breast cancer event, right? You know, there's hundreds, if not thousands of people at that event, right? Well, half, if not more, of those people don't go to the Spurs games. It might not be diehard Spurs fans, you know what I mean? And they're there, you know, supporting the cause and supporting their family members or ones that they've lost and honoring those people. Well, now I've opened up my brand to a whole new audience of people. And so that I've gained a bunch of loyal followers or loyal fans or people who just want to, you know, converse with me, who have nothing to do with the Spurs and don't care about the Spurs, but now are Spurs Jesus fans because they got to meet me out at this charity event. So I see almost every one of those opportunities as not only an opportunity to help and give back and do good in the community, but also help grow my brand to a brand new audience.
Yeah. And you know what? It really helps when someone like you is doing it from a genuine place. You know what I mean? So that makes even more of an impact on someone, like you said, that's not a fan of basketball, that's not a fan of the Spurs, that's not a fan of your brand at the moment. But they see like you hosting, like I said, doing it in a fun way. You made that event more positive and just more, fun for them. And at the same time, you've now exposed them to your brand because you did it in such a genuine way from the heart. I love about that. Is there one, and I'm not trying to say, is there just one charity that really comes to mind that maybe you really are 100, not saying not 100% into all of them, but there's just always something that sits a little bit more closer to you. Is there one maybe?
I mean, you know, it's honestly hard to say. I mean,
that's a tough question.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I'm sorry. I'm like, that's a tough question. I'm the one asking it. That just
Well, I mean, I think some of the ones that have like, there's ones that I feel like the cause is more important than others, and that impacts me more. You know what I mean? Kind of gets me more in the feels, you know, than others. I mean, doing stuff with kids with leukemia, you know, and cancer. I mean, that's definitely more of a heart-wrenching kind of thing where you hear these stories and you hear these, you know, success stories and things that kind of get you to a tear-jerker kind of moment. You know what I mean? Also, you know, I love animals. So, you know, I have a dog and I've always had a dog. All of my family members have dogs. So anything to do with pets is always great. You know, I can always get behind the cause for the food bank. There's many people in San Antonio that are hungry.
It's such an amazing job. The SA Food Bank did such an amazing job during this pandemic, opening up their doors. And honestly, I mean, a lot of those images were shared on CNN and just other news stations in other states of how many cars were lined up, of how many people really needed food during the pandemic. So I think that they did a great job. I'm with you. I'm the same with animals. I have 2 cats, which, hey, Lori, which I'm trying to get one of my cats inside from the balcony. Whatever it is, man, my cats have a personality. I think they want to be on camera. They get hyped up about 30 minutes before every show. This is episode 11. 30 minutes before every show, they are like they want to be on camera. And I'm like, yo, y'all are not, I'll bring you on real quick, but you're not staying on.
It's my show.
But definitely something I can get behind. I really like that about you. Like I said, that's something that, that's huge, man. That's big to recognize that you aren't just an image at a Spurs game, but you can use your brand to shine light on things that are more important than basketball.
Yeah.
And you know basketball is not important. That feeds a lot of families, but causes that really need help, you're able to use your brand to bring attention to that. So,
unfortunately, you know, in the current world we live in, you know, not everybody is a fan of people using their platform to help out causes, specifically like the Black Lives Matter cause. You know, I get messages all the time talking about how much people hate Coach Pop now because Coach Pop spoke out about it, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you know, it's like the the situation with LeBron and the shut up and dribble, statement that was made,
Yeah,
and that turned
was
into a
it
big
Lauren?
thing.
What was it? Her, Lauren, the girl with the blonde hair.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but yeah, something like that. And so it's just one of those things that, so many people DM me or send me messages and say that, I really, I used to love Pop, but now I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Spurs anymore, or I'm just not a fan of Pop, and I really wish he would have just shut up and coached, And I'm like, that's no different than, the shut up and dribble thing. I mean, Coach Pop has an incredible platform, and he's an incredible figure, not just in San Antonio, but not just in the NBA, but around the world. He's one of the most winningest coaches of all time, if not the most winning coach of all time. And so his platform is huge. And, the same people who say that, that want to defend our rights and say, it's my right to do this, it's my right to do that, it's my right to support this candidate or that candidate or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Want to defend the freedom of speech, but at the same time want to say Pop should shut up and coach. And so, I mean, I think that it's just because it's his duty to be the coach of our favorite team doesn't mean that he needs to be on mute. I mean, he's allowed to say what he wants to say and say what he wants to feel. So that being said, some things that I wish I could speak out about or use my platform to, influence more, it's just the state of the world we live in. You're going to get your DMs and your comments blown up by the people that oppose all that stuff,
Tell you the truth, it's the same in the radio world, man. They say the same thing. You should just shut up and tell me what song is playing. Just shut up and tell me something funny. And unfortunately, you got to recognize the platform that you had when you jumped on the episode earlier tonight. I wanted to make sure I right away addressed the Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion thing because, like I said, you've got a wife, you've got a little one. You're trying to teach him the right things and make him a great, make him a great man that can treat a woman the right way.
Exactly.
Fortunately, I have to use my platform the same way and let people know I have to. I like Tory Lanez as an artist, but I have to now cut that off because of, trying to harm a woman in a domestic violence kind of situation or confrontation. So
exactly.
It's really important that, a lot of people understand that the impact that they have, the platform they have, and the audience that they speak to, you got to decide if you're going to use it or not. And I said that earlier on the show. My platform will always be used this entire time, even before George Floyd. I spoke out when it was Eric Gardner. I spoke out when it was Trayvon Martin. I've spoken out so many times, but I finally did become a radio personality that was a public figure in the San Antonio community. And I realized that I wanted to make sure I still use my platform for that, to speak out against, to speak for LGBTQ. I think I got that right. I never know the exact combination, but I think I got that right. I hope I did.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Black Lives Matters. To speak out against systemic racism in America. It's really important, man. And you're right, it's tough because you're always going to get those DMs. You're always going to get that hate. You can't please everybody. And I know you have probably learned that firsthand, that everything you do that is so good, you're still going to have people that think, well, he's taking advantage of that charity to influence his brand. When in reality, it's not that, because you brought more light to the charity than you might have brought to your own brand,
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, trust me, I've had, if anything that you could make up, I've heard it. I mean, literally, I've heard that I'm a drug dealer. I mean, how's Spurs Jesus a drug dehealer?
Damn, come on, Jeez. Come on, SJ. We can't have that, man. Come on.
I know. I've heard everything. I've heard that every charity event that I'm doing, I'm stealing all the money from the charity, and I'm like,
come on.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, come to my house.
That those kind of things are investigated by the FBI. Like, you can't steal money from a recognizable charity without there being some back end.
I'm like, come to the house and see me sweating my ass off cutting the yard. I don't got to yard crew, maintenance crew. What the hell are you talking about? So, yeah. Danielson's 11111. Yeah, I've heard that. I have heard that.
That you're a porn star? So is there a Spurs Jesus OnlyFans? Let's just get that out of here right now. Is there?
Hey, Absolutely not. But
What's the link?
if you want to PayPal me and send me some money, I'll take it. I ain't gonna send you nothing back, but I'll take it.
Well, we need but you gotta give us something, a nipple pick, an arm flex. I mean, there better be something that comes with the PayPal.
Yeah, I'll give you the arm flex. I'll give you the arm flex all day. I'll just show off the rings.
Yeah, there we go.
The ring flex. The ring flex.
Hey, once again, man, Catch Up with Mac, episode 11, the one and only Spurs Jesus in the building. Thank you, everyone. We've had some great people tuning in. Mandy is here. Daniel's son is here. NV88. Man, shout out everyone. They were commenting about your Coach Pop thing. Once again, I hated the thing, too, when Pop said it's okay for people to take a knee. Or no, I love that. I hated the hate that he got. But I love him saying it because everyone knows Pop was in the military. So when it's military people telling you that they're not disrespected and people still say you're disrespecting the flag, I just don't connect those dots. When Colin Kaepernick was told by a veteran that it was more respectful to take a knee than to sit down on the bench, I don't get how people don't connect those dots. I just, but spending your energy thinking about that will exhaust you. So you just you've learned it. Keep it moving.
That's right. That's right.
Real quick, man, because we're talking about the brand. This is a big thing. The pandemic has sparked a lot of influencers. It sparked a lot of podcasts. I'm doing this damn IG Live show now, you know? And
I love it. I love it.
Talk to me, man, because you're someone that I thought is really intelligent when it comes to the marketing and branding and everything. You landed a sponsor like Papa John's. That's nationwide. This isn't San Antonio's own. This is Papa John's. You can get it in where my family's from, Massachusetts, Seattle, Miami. Papa John's everywhere. Explain to me how you've gone about gaining those sponsorships. I don't want you to give away your exact recipe because you don't want people to have all the tools. You still got to make your own ends meet. But maybe some tips for people out there like me that are trying to gain sponsorships behind something they're doing.
Okay, I got two things that I'm going to say to you on that. One is the answer is always no until you ask. So if you don't ask for something or you don't bring it up, it's always a no. You know what I mean? The second thing that's kind of the same thing is, you can't wait for someone to knock on your door. You got to knock on theirs, and so, and those kind of go hand in hand. You got to go knock on the door and then you got to ask. I mean, so if I was you, I'd go straight to Jameson. I mean, and I see you tagging them. And
you know what's funny? I want to start commenting under their posts too. I'm sorry. I was thinking it. Of course, that looks kind of cringy to some people, but when you land the sponsorship, it's not cringy no more when they're sending me free bottles.
Yeah. Hey, hang on real quick. Sorry, wifey needed the baby monitor.
I like that.
Yeah.
You're still parenting on the show. I understand, man.
I think she's gonna come join in on us. Join in with us in a second. I'm not sure.
Real quick, just so people know. I think we've got maybe about 18 minutes left. But I've got maybe 4 more good questions for you. I want to bring your wifey on. So if we have to jump back on for another 15, 20 minutes, let's do it. For everyone that's watching right now, IG Live ends at an hour, but we will jump just right back on. Everyone jump back in because I still got some great questions for you. And man, this is already an awesome show. I love it.
Real quick, so people are asking, maybe when we take that break to get back on, I might need to refill my drink. People are asking what I'm drinking. Yes, I drink bourbon. Yes, I drink whiskey. Yes, I drink red wine. Yes, I drink beer. Currently, right now, I'm drinking a vodka and a coconut LaCroix.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've been in quarantine. We've been on the seltzer game. We've been trying all the seltzers, trying to figure out which ones we like the best.
The Trulies, man. Oh, you jumped.
White Claw, Truly, the Corona seltzers, the Bud Light seltzers. We've been on them all.
It's gonna make me throw up if you start talking like that. You know I'm a New England boy. We sip lagers up there, Boston Lager, Jameson, Guinness. Come on, geez.
Well, have you had? I like all that stuff too. I like all that stuff too. You know, for a
People are
Guinness,
blowing up about the White Claws right now in the Spurs. I love it.
a Guinness and a Boston Lager. That's more of a winter beverage for me here.
I got you.
I mean? It's when I'm sitting out in the inflatable pool in the yard. I need me a seltzer.
Is there a yellow like duck? Is there like a rubber ducky that you're like swimming with, or like kind of a float? Does that
No.
I just like paint the picture for the people watching?
I'm 6'3", so I'm just trying to lay my ass back down under the water as much as I can. But yeah, no. So going back to your question about the brand, I mean, like I said, it's all about stick-to-itiveness, not giving up, keep on pushing, and keep on grinding on the asks. Again, the question's always no until you ask. My deal with the Papa John's was like a 3-4 year long deal.
Yeah, I saw that, man. Like I said, that is incredible to see someone local, someone that started something without any backing behind it. It was just an idea that came out of your head. I think that's incredible to land a sponsor like Papa John's, man.
I lost you for a second there.
Oh, my pros. Yeah, but please explain to me about that sponsorship.
Well, so it started off with a social media influencing partnership where I kind of was on contract for a 6-month term to do a certain amount of social media posts, but at the same time I had my own promo code, which you could go to papajohns.com and type in SJ40 and you get 40% off of all your pizza, which is 40% off is a great deal. That's
just to be honest, I might have honestly used it once or twice. Just so
I think it's still active. I think if you were to type it in, it's still active. So it started off with that, and over the years we kind of came up with different ways to, it was a combination of me doing social media influencing, talking about their products and talking about me loving their product, which I do, and then kind of progressed into a mix of that as well as community outreach stuff where we'd go and take pizza to first responders, take pizza to the hospitals, take pizza to charity events, show up at events that Papa John's was hosting, a community event in the park, and I'd be there to take pictures of people and stuff like that. And after doing it the same model for a couple of years, it kind of we'd sit down and have marketing meetings about this stuff all the time, about what's next, what's new, how do we keep it fresh, how do we keep it hot.
Out of the community, what's something different we can do? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about taking the SJ Cruiser around and delivering pizzas to teachers and stuff like that. We never did it, but we should have done it.
That's a great idea. That could still be a great idea. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we decided that a way to make it fresh would be to start a podcast, because over the years I've done, like I said, many radio show, many TV show, and not to pat myself on the back, but we always have a great time doing a radio show or a TV show. And after the show, the execs would always be like, "You need your own show. That's great." But that would always be as far as that conversation would go, So me and the Papa John's guys, they were like, "Well, dude, let's just make your own show." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And so we started Countdown City, the podcast, and brought in my wonderful co-host now that we're doing a pandemic, is my wife, who's over there standing in the front of the fan right now. You to come jump in on this? Come say hi.
Yeah, come say hi. And honestly, I want to make sure that we get to plug your podcast as much as possible. So, Carson, how's it going? I have not seen both of y'all, just real quick. I think it was since last summer when y'all were at Walk-Ons on Hebner.
Yeah.
What the event was, but I got to stop by real quick.
It was
soccer?
It was World Cup.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. That is what it is. Yes, that is the last time I've seen y'all. Like I said, life gets busy. The pandemic is over. Me and you even talked about a podcast when I was at the station. But I feel like things were going in different directions for both of us at that time. But I'm glad to see that both of y'all linked up. I want to make sure that this is a good section for this, so we can not run out of time and mess it up.
Yeah.
let's end here in a second. We'll just cut it short, jump right back on, refresh your drink.
Cool.
I can talk about the podcast, Countdown City, because I love everybody taking their influence into their own hands. And like you said, not doing it a part of a radio station or radio show where maybe you're not getting 100% of the profits or 100% of the, God, I can't think of the word, but you and your wife now are the ones that are gaining y'all are the ones that are basically gaining all of the what the fuck am I trying to say?
It's nice to be in control.
Yeah.
It's nice to be in control.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, we're
exactly,
getting
exactly.
we're all the any sort of monetary income that's coming from our podcast, from advertisements or sponsors, is 100% coming to us, which is in radio. You're having a lot of advertisements, you have a lot of commercials, you have a lot of sponsors, you have a lot of things you need to plug, and you guys are only getting a fraction of it. So I get it. That's exactly what you're
Where
trying
in
to say.
reality, you're getting 100% of the cut. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Taking control of basically your influence, your brand, and using it to the fullest power for y'all, and not to gain wealth for someone else. I love that so much. Like I said, let's get into it. Let's jump off real quick. Refresh your drink. Carson, would love to talk to you a little bit. Everyone that is in the show right now, Kathy Castro, Austin TX, I Am Pledger, my guy from ESPN San Antonio. He's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks.
All right.
Camstagram, I Am Steph, I think. Shout out everyone jumping in the show right now. We're going to jump off. We're going to let Spurs Jesus refresh his vodka spritzer real quick. And I'm going to pour up a little more Jameson. And we're going to get right back to it. I want to talk about it. Countdown City, the podcast. Let's jump. I'll jump back on and come right back on whenever you're ready.
All right, we'll be right back. Give us 5. We'll be right back.
Let's do it. Everyone, 5 minutes. We're back on.